When it comes to gaming, there's always this group of people who they will have the opposite of the majority opinion. When a really good game comes out, they'll say it's the biggest piece of trash in the world, and when a really bad game comes out, they will hype it up. And well, that is exactly what we are taking a look at today. I found a guy that tries to hype up Forspoken and claims that the hate on the game was forced. And then he goes on to say positive things about Dustborn. The only positive thing that I can say about Dustborn is it's probably an efficient, North Korean dungeon torturing method. Like you just force somebody to play through the game or something. I don't know, that's the only use of the game I can think of. But before we get into the actual video, I want to just go over the review scores of Forspoken. The game got a 64 critic score and a 4.2 user score. Anyway, I wasted enough time on the intro, let's get into the video.
12 hours into Forspoken, and I can confidently say that I disagree completely with almost every single criticism that's been thrown at this game.
Okay, we just started the video, but I already have to cut him off. Why does he light up each word as he says them? This dude does not think highly of his viewers' intelligence. Oh yeah, and before somebody asks why I have the video in the corner instead of taking up the full screen, I wouldn't force you guys to watch Forspoken.
So much so that I feel like I'm being gaslit by the gaming community at large. Did we actually play the same game? Because based on the discourse, you think Forspoken was some kind of war crime.
I mean, to be fair, forcing somebody to play through this game should be a war crime.
And the comment section was split between people who shared my sentiment and the usual parade of mindless gamers complaining about DEI, Sweet Baby Inc., and without fail, bringing up Dustborn, Concord, and Squad Kills the Justice.
Alright, I'm gonna cut you off there. I really don't care to hear this same spiel again. Also, how did you manage to list off 3 games and spell them all wrong? There we go. I just saved you guys a bunch of time and most of your brain cells.
I guess. So of course, when a game with a young black female protagonist came along, their first instinct was to hate it.
Wow, that's interesting. Do you care to provide some sort of proof, possibly a source, so we know you're not just making this up? Who the hell am I kidding?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
I love when people use this argument. Oh, you happen to dislike this game that has a diverse character? You're just racist, dude. It's such a pathetic way to deflect criticism.
And if you ask them why, they'll tell you it's because of cringy dialogue or that the character is unlikable.
Wait, I thought you said it was because the character was black. But keep this in mind, that he says that people claim that the character is unlikable. We're gonna use this clip in the future.
Let's talk about the cringe dialogue. First of all, what's cringe is highly subjective.
Don't tell me he's actually gonna try to do this shit. Technically, dude, it's subjective. 99.9% of people find the dialogue cringe. So it's probably cringe.
But more importantly, feeling secondhand embarrassment at how someone expresses themselves says more about you than it does about them. To me, the whole concept of cringe is a socially programmed response. Jealousy at someone else's unfiltered self-expression mixed with shame at the times you've tried to do the same and been mocked for it.
I mean, that's a lot of words to say you were the kid that Naruto ran in the hallway back in high school.
Frankly, I think the dialogue in Forspoken is hilarious.
You know, now that I think about it, you're absolutely right. The Forspoken dialogue is hilarious. Hilariously bad.
Frey sounds exactly like what I'd expect from a 20-year-old orphan from Brooklyn who suddenly gets yeeted into medieval times and given godlike powers by a sentient bracelet.
You'd expect an orphan from that time to say, I just moved shit with my freaking mind? Bro, don't lie to yourself.
You too might scream.
Wanna see a magic trick?
I'm sorry, dude, it was a perfect opportunity to do that.
The other criticism is that Frey is unlikable, she's too mean, or she makes decisions that the player wouldn't. And to that I say, just a little bit of media literacy, please.
Well, it's safe to say I know what I'm using for my thumbnail. Grab our certificate of media literacy soy jack, resize him and cut out the background. Now we go ahead and grab the like to dislike ratio to show that his opinion is unpopular. Slap on some text. And what else? Fuck it, let's add a bottle of Soylent.
For that purpose, Soylent has fit perfectly into my life. I actually looked forward to drinking Soylent every day.
Frey is an orphan who has never known what it's like to be loved or accepted.
Well, shit, guys, looks like we can't dislike the character because she was an orphan, despite the fact that she has character flaws.
And yes, some of the hate Frey gets is absolutely because she's a black woman.
Bro, you already made this point. Repeating it a second time is not going to convince people to suddenly believe it. Also, once again, care to provide a source? Oh, wait.
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
The gaming community has always had a problem with sexism, even though women have been in gaming since the beginning. Now that more women are showing up in competitive spaces like first-person shooters and fighting games, it's only gotten worse.
It's gotten worse? Have you played a first-person shooter game in recent times? You can't even disagree with someone without getting voice chat banned. Back in the day, it was like 30 times worse than it is now. Don't know what first-person shooter games you've been playing.
But for me, I don't need to like a character to appreciate their story.
Remember that clip I told you guys to keep in mind where he says that people think the character is unlikable? Well, I mean, right here he admits it.
Now let's talk about actual game mechanics, because to me, the gameplay in Forspoken is insanely fun.
I will give the smallest bit of credit to Forspoken. The gameplay is actually somewhat fun, which funnily enough, the gameplay was the only part made by an Eastern studio. Eastern devs stay winning, man.
People complain that you don't get her best powers until later in the game, but 12 hours in and I've already maxed out several skills and unlocked a variety of new unique spells.
You know, it's not really the greatest point to be making that, well, 12 hours in, it's really fun. Dude, the game is like 14 hours, like I would hope so. I've always hated this point that people try to make with games where they're like, well, 5 hours in, it gets fun, or 12 hours in, it gets fun. A game should have you hooked within the first 2 to 3 hours, realistically. You're watching the game I'm playing in the background now. This game had me hooked within the first, like, half hour.
From the first dragon to the sea serpent to the Tanta battles, they're all fantastic, and yet all I ever heard was cringe dialogue.
And the reason why you keep hearing about the cringe dialogue is because it's so bad that it stands out. When you have a game that's just all around alright, and then an extremely shitty aspect, that extremely shitty aspect is going to stand out and people are going to remember it.
I experience games sensory first. I don't just play for the mechanics, I play for the full package. I love Nier Automata as much for its music as for the game itself.
AO based? Nier Automata is genuinely a fantastic game and I recommend you guys all play it.
I don't buy games on day one. I stopped doing that years ago, so it's not about getting my money's worth. It's about enjoying the experience.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't recommend anyone buy games day one nowadays. But the thing is, Forspoken, a lot of the hate it got was because of the way it was on day one.
To me, there are two types of gamers, the mindful and the impulsive. Impatient gamers pay a tax on their impatience. $69 for a launch day game that might not even be finished. Meanwhile, I get steep discounts and even some of the bad games for free, like Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League.
Bro, why would you even want that game for free? You would have to super chat me like $500 to play that garbage.
As bad as Dustborn was, it was only $30.
Only $30? That's $30 too many. They should pay you to play Dustborn.
And while it failed in so many ways, it also had moments of interesting dialogue and a willingness to tackle mature themes.
There's no way this guy is serious. Need I remind you guys that Dustborn's all-time peak player count didn't even reach the triple digits? Then the CEO came out and cried that the game failed.
I don't feel like other gamers.
I mean, congrats, dude. Just because you think differently doesn't mean that's a good thing.
All games are awesome.
Right. And that's why some become massive successes that are loved by everyone, and some others are just laughing stocks of the internet, right? I mean, Big Rigs is fucking awesome, dude. By the way, guys, Big Rigs is coming to Steam, and I will absolutely use it for gameplay.
But I am mature enough to understand that not all games are for me.
Well, same goes for me. Shitty games like Forspoken are not for me. Anyway, I really don't have that much else to say. I have a feeling this guy's like a contrarian type. He just tries to be different for the sake of being different, and I mean it worked. He got some views on the video, so I can't knock the hustle. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. If you didn't, you can smash that dislike button and type out an angry comment. The Forspoken fans of the world, all 6 of them, are probably not going to be happy with this video, but it is what it is. And yeah, I'm out of here, dude. Peace.